Okay, so before we get started here, I do want to give a shout out or a promotion to an artist. I usually don't commission artists, but I did so this time to help promote the Citrus Quest, which is a show run by my co-host Ichabod. But as you can see, the background is done by someone named Tabby Wesa. All of her information is in the description below. So if you guys want commissions, she is actually really cheap. Does really good quality work. I was actually quite happy. The communication was really well. She kept me updated. And as you can see, this is her art piece that I turned into a stream theme. So go check her out if you like cute stuff. With that being said, today's topic, or rather tonight's topic, is going to be the Convington boys, if you guys are not really familiar with what's going on with that. It was a story that broke last week about a group of boys from a Catholic school wearing MAGA hats, supposedly harassing a bunch of Native Americans, and one of them had a standoff with one of the activists named Nathan Phillips. So a lot of stuff has come to light recently, different video angles. I've gathered a few videos, a few articles that we're going to look at tonight, and pretty much give my take on it in regards to what's going on. I've read through a lot of stuff, and I think it's a mix both ways, but yeah, we're gonna discuss that tonight. So Ichabod, let's start off with your take, just from what you've seen so far. What do you think of this mess?
I think it was a bunch of kids that went to a field trip, got trapped off by the black Israelites, then got screamed at by some Native American dude with a drum 10 inches from his face. My daddy would have told me to punch that man in the mouth. Wasn't actually a vet, wasn't actually an elder, got disavowed by the American Natives Association. Basically just, yeah, no respect for the guy.
Yeah, I did catch that, and one of the articles that was listed that I went through, he is nicknamed Red Cloud, and Nathan Phillips is known for causing trouble, and he's actually done something like this 2 to 3 times before. I'm going to pull up the video because like I said, I don't think the kids are necessarily in the wrong, but considering what exactly happened, I think both sides, in a way, were at fault just because the native did approach the kid and stood there, but I don't know. Oh, here's the YouTube video. I don't know. For me, it's just a really mixed bag. Right now, there's a lawsuit going around for anybody who shit-talk the kids. You have people encouraging mass shootings of the Convington Catholic school, which I think is the worst possible thing. You have people like Kathy Griffin calling for them to be doxxed. You have people trying to turn this into a race thing with looking at pictures from 2015 of students doing what is called blackout, where they paint themselves entirely in black and they taunt the other team. I'm not much of a sports fan, so I don't know much about blackout, but people were trying to portray it as blackface when the actual face paint did not show blackface. Blackface is painted completely different. Still a blackface, but the lip work and the eyes are done completely different. So you just have people kind of being stupid. But I do have the video pulled up. Let me touch base with the chat. Oh, it looks like honey drop. Yeah, it is very cute. Small crowd tonight. That's fine. We started at 8 o'clock because I'm trying to cut down on the time that the intro runs. Instead of having 10 minutes, just pop it at 8 and then run it for like 5 to 6 minutes and then beginning. So... But anyway, I'm going to pull up the video here. Yoink. And I'm going to turn on my screen. I'm not sure. Oh, it is somewhat formatted. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to play the video. I'm going to turn the sound down. But from what the articles discussed, the students were there for a pro-life rally and were actually taunted by the Black Israelites who were spouting a bunch of nonsense and screaming at a bunch of people, and then the natives showed up. But as you can see, Nathan Phillips is moving through the crowd. The guys are kind of singing along. They're just being goofy. There's no one really making any crude hand gestures, nothing like that. Whoever actually shot this got it from a good angle. But yeah, he's just kind of moving his way through the crowd. He stops in front of one kid or two kids momentarily. Starts to head over to our main kid here, Nick, and then he just stops there. He just stops and he continues. Like, he could have moved around. As you can see, he was moving through the crowd, but he just stopped in front of this kid. Now, the kid himself, I feel, should have moved out of the way, but I could see from the standpoint of standing one's ground. But I don't know. I feel like both sides were being dumb in this regard. But the kid just not doing anything, not screaming at him. I don't know. How do you feel about this, Ichabod? I see this as both sides kind of being antagonistic.
I don't necessarily see it as both sides being antagonistic. I see it as a bunch of kids running with it. You know, some guys walking up beating a drum at you, and they're just dancing along with the drum. I've seen worse. I've seen much worse. I mean, the kids ain't going after the guy. They're not saying anything mean to the guy. They're not going after Native Americans in general. They're just bouncing along every time he hits the drum.
Yeah, and the very first video that came out did show... see, he now has the drum higher, like, as to more to put it into his face. But when the video first dropped, it's just like, and I even said, like, wow, these are disrespectful little shits, that this is not okay with what they're doing. And then, He Flung Poo got my attention on Twitter, and it's like, hey, more of the stories come out, here's another video, or he linked me to another article, and then I really started to dig. It's like, oh, the native walked up to him first, and it just didn't move around. Because as you could see, he was shuffling through the kids. The kids weren't necessarily blocking. They were already there for a pro-life rally and had been picked on by the Black Israelites who just believe that all white people are the devil and that they're someday going to be the slaves of black people and just a bunch of hooey garbage. But the kid could have moved, but I understand not being intimidated, and it's just Nathan Phillips being known for doing this. Now, Nathan did serve in the Army as a private, not as a Marine, so he did exaggerate his vet status to a degree, but he is not a Vietnam veteran, because that was a story that was first put out by and then they went and dug through the history of him and found out he had greatly manipulated his history with the military. But yeah, it just stands there the entire time. So let me see. I'm gonna actually kick it back off to the mainstream here. And then you have all the blue check marks have been purged and stuff, because there are some links that I had gathered that the link was no longer there. There was another video that popped up, and here's why I say that this is a mixed bag. You had a girl, and the faces have been identified as being the same. It's the same group of kids. Yes, they were there for a pro-life rally. But you had a video pop up by another schooler who went with the boys or was familiar with them. I'm gonna kick back over to the thing here, and they were like shouting stuff at her. Let me see if I can get it to play. Hold on, let's see. Come on, you. Come on. Play the video. It's gonna take a second here. But we don't know what happened excuse me, before this little video clip.
I'm so tired already.
But yeah, as you can see, they were shouting. Now, they did dig into the history of the girl, and they found like some very racist tweets, how she's antagonistic herself. Excuse me, I'm choking orange juice. And she's poked and she's prodded at other people. So, just like I said, we have no idea what happened before this video was taken. We don't know if she poked and prodded at them. I haven't seen any other videos from the angle, but it does kind of give an insight. I think the kids, because it was described in an article how the kids were there mocking the natives when they showed up, like as you saw in the video, they were mimicking the sounds and a little bit of hand gestures and things like that, but it was nothing really crude or vulgar. They were being teenagers. They were being stupid. But I don't know. I just feel like it's mixed. Yeah, see, Honey Drop Unicorn, both sides are acting childish. And that's how I feel too. I don't know. Do you think, is it just one-sided Ichabod, or do you think it's like two sides, or?
Well, the thing about it is I know how I was raised. I know how my brothers were raised. I know how most of the kids in my area were raised. At 16, 17, however old these kids are. Now, we'd have punched the dude because he got into our personal space. So I think the kids were acting pretty darn adult. My daddy would have whooped me silly if he had seen me letting somebody come up that close to me, beating any kind of thing could be used as a weapon. Anything like that, my dad would have beat me silly for letting him get that close to me and make a fool out of me. But that's my family. The way I was raised, you didn't take shit from anybody. Didn't matter what the race, color, or creed was. And I'm sorry, that guy's going to do it in too many people's face. He's going to get close to somebody who didn't take no crap. And he's going to knock him out. And I'm not going to feel the least bit bad for him. Respect it goes both ways. He didn't have to start getting up there. And if that kid had backed away, I guarantee you that man would have followed him with that drum, still beating it at him the entire time. Because he went over to them kids. Started up doing it. I got no sympathy for the guy. I mean, being 3/4 Blackfoot, nobody of the people I talked to would put up with that crap. They'd have took him them dang cells and chucked him out of there and been like, "Are you insane? They're children."
Yeah.
And all this crap sparks over a hat.
Mm-hmm. Well, something too, and I think I dropped the link in my thing because I can't remember the guy's name. I'm actually scrolling because I threw a bunch of links into the Buy Hearth request room. There's a guy on Twitter. He was watching what's called The Talk, I believe it's called, with Whoopi Goldberg. Raven Simone used to be on it.
The View.
Huh? Yeah, The View. There you go. It's The View. And he was going through and reacting to the video, and Whoopi pretty much said, is like, we pretty much jumped to facts. Instead of waiting for everything to come out, we just painted these kids in a horrible light, and why has it come to this? And the other host, she has black glasses, she's a redhead, very bright red hair, and she just flat out goes, because we're so desperate to get Trump out of office. And it's true, you have people who hate Trump so much, and I'm not saying I agree with every single thing the guy's done. I voted him in. I'd vote for him again. He just temporarily ended the government shutdown, and pretty much he said that, okay, we're going to do border security, or we're going to negotiate border security separate from the government. You have until February 15th. If you guys can't come to an agreement by then, I declare emergency power, and I'm building the wall. So, people are so wanting to paint him as a demon that anybody who promotes Trump, whether it be a hat, a shirt, a logo, something, they will treat that person as a demon as well, and we've seen articles about punching, defacing property. We've seen people take off a sign. So it's gotten to such a ridiculous point. I mean, as much as people hated Obama, we didn't see this during the Obama administration. We had people somewhat protesting, but we've never seen this. So, but it's only with Trump, and it's such a ridiculous level that people are willing for kids' lives to be like ended. These are kids wearing freaking hats. It's disgusting. And then you had another lady talking about how she was gonna give fellatio, and I'm gonna pull up the Twitter thing here, give fellatio to anybody who would punch these kids in the face. And it's just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you even say something like that? Let me pull up the thing here, and then I got another article pulled up here. We have Kyra in the chat says, hi, hello. Okay, and this is a Saturday Night writer, someone who writes for Saturday Night Live, which I heard that show actually went down the toilet, so yay. I used to love that show until it got stupid. But yeah, you have her saying that she's going to whore herself out for anybody who manages to land a punch in the kid, Nick, just for wearing the stupid hat. And then you have Alyssa Milano saying that MAGA hats are the new white hoods, which the Ku Klux Klan hood doesn't even relate to the hat. Trump isn't racist. I am so sick and tired of this garbage, man. This is over a freaking protest and somebody trying to intimidate a kid. Yes, the kid got a little bit, I want to say a little bit cocky, but he did stand his ground, and the Indian did try to intimidate him with a drum. Anytime you stick something in another person's face, whether it be yelling, microphone, anything of that nature, that video, he was trying to intimidate the kid. The kid wasn't having it, though. We have gotten to such a ridiculous point now to where you have people trying to demonize anybody for anything they don't like, especially in regards to Trump. And I don't understand it. I really don't. Trump isn't as bad as people say he is.
Oh.
And then, what was the other thing? Oh, here's the other thing. You have, of course, this is a top Democrat. I believe he's from out of California. Why is it always out of California? These freaking idiots. You have a top Democrat who wants to ban MAGA hats because they're so, quote unquote, offensive to people. Let's see. It is the chairman of the House Budget. I got a bunch of stupid ads. But yeah, you just can't make up this level of insanity. Yeah, it's a Christian school, and I think part of the reason why they're being targeted because of their faith as well. And we've seen more and more, and I'm not saying that people of a religious nature or Christian nature, that they're completely innocent, because we've seen them outrage over a bunch of dumb stuff. But in this case, I do feel like it's the Trump hat and then the religion that also plays a part in them being targeted so freaking much. Let's see, it's an all-boys school. Let's see, a group of Native Americans led by liberal activist Nathan Phillips walked right into the middle of them and started beating their drums. So they came trying to intimidate the children, or the boys, while they were at a pro-life rally. Which I don't even know why they would show up to begin with. I have not come across anything relating to that just yet. Let's see, the boys had no idea what was going on, and our team here has already written articles and posted videos of the Native Americans saying, white people, go back to Europe where you came from. So you had the black Israelites saying stuff, and then you also had the Native Americans telling these boys white people belong in Europe. Good Lord. But yeah, it has a copy of the tweet. Rep. John Yarmouth. I'm calling for a total and complete shutdown of teenagers wearing MAGA hats until we can figure out what is going on. They seem to be poisoning young minds. Let's see. Choreo Journal. It was racism. It was hatred. It was scary. The Native American leader who was surrounded and taunted by Convington Catholic students describes the scene. Choreo Journal, and it has a link to another story. The content we saw in this video is beyond appalling, but it didn't happen in a vacuum. This is a direct result of a racist hatred displayed daily by the President of the United States, who sadly some mistake for a role model. Which, again, I have yet to see any actual proof of Trump being racist. People call him racist due to his border and because he doesn't want certain people in the U.S., which is perfectly fine because some people do not belong here. I don't care. Let's see. The story has since been debunked, and the boys did nothing wrong. The school is now even rumored to be thinking about suing mainstream media. That is another thing too. There's a lawsuit for going after the kids, and then the school on top of that is thinking about suing any media that publish a story blasting the kids. And then there's an incident where you had death threats and I believe even bomb threats called into the school, to where a lot of parents kept their kids at home because of this incident. For making up the fake story and harassing kids at school. Let's see. And then here's another tweet. I don't know much about this congressman, so I really can't comment on him, to say the least. When we Democrats learn that we live in technology and information age, lies are going to be disputed. It's time for conservatives across America to rise up and stop being bullied by these people. The time to stand up to the left, America, is now. So, once again, it's just, to me, it's a mixed bag. You got the kids kind of, they were just being kids, but at the same time, I don't know. If someone had done that to me and like I would be able to pick up on the behavior, I would just tell him to move and he had start following me around, then it would have become an issue. That's just me though. I don't know. It is so hard to judge.
I don't know, man. All I saw was a bunch of kids being kids and wearing some hats. And then a bunch of assholes coming up to them, screaming at them.
Yeah, and I don't know if the natives were there to protest the pro-life protest that was there, because once again those kids were there to do a pro-life march or whatnot, and it doesn't specify whether or not these natives were there to counteract that or they were just there to cause a nuisance or whatnot. So once again, I haven't seen anything.
Oh,
go ahead.
Well, when I look at it, I don't see it as a race thing. It wasn't a bunch of natives there to protest something. It was a bunch of people who were pro-life there to protest or a bunch of people who were pro-choice to protest people who were pro-life. That's all it was. His race doesn't matter to me.
No.
Even in the slightest. It's not something that has to do with his race. It has to do with he's pro-choice, they're pro-life, he did something stupid, they failed to react in the way they wanted, so they got demonized for that. And they would have been demonized harder if they had. Apparently Tom Riddle says they were there for an Indigenous Peoples March.
Yeah. Let me touch base with the stream a bit. Okay, so someone says happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. Tom Riddle says, yeah, but the cocky kid is redundant. However, the school should have chaperones prevent this situation in the first place. And that is another thing. I don't see, it's not talked about whether or not this was an actual school event, because if it was, chaperones should have been there. Like, you don't see any adults. You do not see any adults among the kids. So I don't know whether the boys did this on their own after school hours. That is a detail I have not come across either. So, but yeah, there should have been adults present. There should have been adults stepping in instead of like taking cameras going, okay, you know what, both you knock it off, disperse, whatever. Let's see. Tom Riddle also says kids did nothing wrong other than being kids. They were there for an Indigenous Peoples March. Zio Gold says, "What did I miss? Oh, we just started." I guess there's two different marches happening: the pro-life by the boys, and then the Indigenous. So I haven't read anything about the march. I don't even know what Nathan Phillips was marching on. I don't know. Have you heard why they were marching for Indigenous people?
No. I never hear why these marches take place. I try to stay out of them.
Yeah, no,
I think I've gone to
Go ahead.
one or two. I think I've gone to like one or two of them things. Like the Indigenous People marches, just to stand with my uncle who's full-blooded Blackfoot. So he doesn't want to go by himself, I go with him.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Oh, see, this is a bunch of hooey. Just found another article. I'm trying to see, because I didn't come across any articles about a march anywhere about Indigenous People March. It didn't even specify why Nathan and his group was there. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to flip over to this, and I'm not going to play the video. I'm going to read what happened. Sorry, I'm still kind of recovering from my cold, so if I mute the mic, I have to for a second. But yeah, this is, of course, by CNN, and I know they're a bit of a joke, but it's best to get the story from all angles and see who's twisting what. But here's CNN interviewing Nathan Phillips. CNN Native American elder Nathan Phillips, who has made headlines everywhere after a video showed him in a face-off with a Catholic school student in front of the Lincoln Memorial, spoke at length with CNN the day after the incident. Phillips described what he felt was hatred coming from the young people in the crowd, who are pupils at Convington Catholic School in Kentucky and who had traveled to the nation's capital to attend a March for Life rally also held on Friday. Once again, it does not specify whether this is a school event or this was just something a lot of the students got together and decided to do. The interview was conducted Saturday after the video went viral. Since the interview, the diocese in charge of the school has announced the students' actions, has denounced the students' actions. A lawmaker has defended them, and the boy in the video, Nick Sandman, has denied characterizations of his and his classmates' behavior. And as I said, it's a mixed bag because that other video we just showed of them shouting at the girl, but at the same time, we don't have enough information as to what happened prior to that little segment of a video, and her Twitter was dug into, and she's known for her racial slurs. She is known for poking the bear, as it were. So I can't say yes or no either way. Let's see. The interview was conducted Saturday after the video went viral. Since the interview, I already read that. And said he was simply standing in front of Phillips to let him know he wouldn't be baited into an altercation. And that's, in a way, that's also what it looks like, because like I said, you saw Phillips shifting through the crowd. He kept moving from student to student, and then for some reason decided to stop in front of Nick, because as we saw the boy prior, the boy kind of ignored him, but I guess Nathan decided to stand in front of Nick because Nick made eye contact with him and held it. I don't know. It's so weird to move from one boy and then pick Nick in particular and just stay there and lift your drum higher to try to intimidate him. That's what I saw. Let's see. As several new videos have first surfaced, including one showing the students engaging in a tomahawk chop, mocking the Native Americans, and we did see with another article that Nathan was nicknamed Red Cloud, but it was another Native American who said the boys were at first starting to mock the Indians when they arrived, not really sure what was going on, and you saw them making noise, trying to mimic the chanting. And then this guy also said that the students eventually started singing along, and it was a peaceful disperse. And another showing a group of Hebrew Israelites hurling slurs and epithets at the teenagers both before Phillips arrived on the scene and after he left. So you have the black Israelites there as well. And if you know anything about them, they believe that white people are demons, that white people are eventually going to be slaves to black people or people of color, and they're nuts. They are full-blown nuts. So you had them also picking at the boys, and then apparently they were there still spewing garbage when Nathan left. Let's see, here's a transcript of Philip's interview, which has been lightly edited for flow and content. Tell us what happened, what transpired between you and the young people who were all standing around you. How did you end up being surrounded by this group of young people with the MAGA hats on? There was a disturbance there on the Lincoln Monument grounds. We were finishing up with Indigenous Peoples March and Rally, and there were some folks there that were expressing their first... Oh, man, get out of here. I hate these ads. First Amendment rights there, freedom of speech. Then there was this young group of young students that came there and were offended by their speech, and it escalated into an ugly situation that I found myself in the middle of. Yeah, I found myself in the middle of it, sort of woke up to it, which is a bunch of bullshit, because as we've seen from the video, he walked into that group. He drew closer to the group. So... Let me touch base with the chat again while I have this open. Let's see, what did I miss? How is everyone? We're all doing okay. They were on their way home to buses to go home. Oh, the kids or oh, Nathan was. Okay. Okay, so you just sort of decided to try and stop this, or at least have an impact on it, calm the waters. Is that right? Yes, because drumming your drum in someone's face is calming the waters. Okay. Yes, that is the impression that everybody has, and I guess that's
chumming.
Yeah, so full of shit.
Chumming the water.
I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. What? No. No, oh my god. When I started taking those steps and using the drum, it was just a spur of the moment. I don't like to say it that way, but it was just, what do you do? What do you do now? Here's a moment where something that's really ugly in our society in America. Something that's just come to a boiling point, as I say, does that make sense? So he's trying to paint the picture here of, oh, well, I saw all these kids messing with these people who were protesting, who apparently were pro-choice from the sounds of it, when they were originally there for a pro-life, and it's more than likely the pro-choice people showed up afterwards. So, I hate saying it so much. Sure, so you sort of went in between the two groups. Yes. Yes, what happened? What was it like standing there? So he's trying to paint himself as like some sort of hero because these kids were quote-unquote messing with the pro-life people. Okay, that's awesome. What do you think about this story so far, Ichabod? We got a victim mentality going, and then we got like a hero mentality.
Kids got more crap than they should have. Really, like downright, like they didn't do crap to this poor kid, and yeah, just there's a lot to say about it, but it's just really, really bad.
No, it is. You have someone who purposely decided to go and create even more division, and first he tried to spin it off as a victim mentality. Oh, I was scared. Oh, they were portraying hatred at us. They were doing this, they were doing that. And then now you have the viewpoint from the same guy saying, oh, well, I was there to disperse the tension between this group and this group. And it's just like, no, that's inaccurate. The video shows completely different. Let's see. When my young friend that came up there said, let's hit the drum, because there's a point there where it just got, what? wording, because there's a point there where it just got to a crescendo. Holy crap, wording, please, jeez. I think they say it sometimes that it was like the thunder, the storm was coming. What did it feel like that you were witnessing? Oh, what I was witnessing was just hate, racism. Well, hate. Okay, so how, if the kids were there for a pro-life, like, he doesn't specify where the racism and hate is coming from. You had kids there for a pro-life, and then you have the black Israelites going there to protest for whatever freaking reason, spew their garbage and calling white people the devil and all this wonderful stuff. So is he referring to the black Israelites? Who is he referring to? What I'm saying is that when these folks came there, these other folks were just saying their piece, and these others, they got offended with it because they were both just expressing their own views. See, he's being vague on purpose, or CNN rewrote what he said. I don't know. And if it is racism, that's what it was. Wait, okay. This makes no sense. And if it's racism, that's what it was, because the folks that were there having their moment there, they were saying things that I don't know if I agreed with them or not, but some of it was educational. How is telling white people they're evil educational? And it was truth. Okay, that's so nice to know. And it was history about religious views and ideologies. They were supposed... Black Israelites, they try to preach from the Bible. I know they have their own Bible. It's called the Apocrypha. I believe I have the right word there. Again, they believe white people are evil, that because of what white people did to people of color, that white people are going to become slaves. Nothing of what the Bible actually preaches, but the Apocrypha is different from the Bible. But these other folks, the young students, they couldn't see it. Okay, what is not to see? White people are being told that they're evil. They had one point of view, it seemed, and that was their point of view was the only point of view that was worthwhile, and that's how I was feeling. Wow, he sounds like a racist douche. If you guys don't know anything about the Black Israelites, I recommend looking them up. They're some of the most racist people I've ever heard of.
Yeah, they're not happy-go-lucky fuckers, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I've seen videos of other Black Israelites where they're arguing with a bunch of women because women are coming up, and they're telling the women, oh, you're going to be my sex slave, you're going to be this to me, and they're just like, what? So, yeah, no, like I said, they're cuckoo. They're very hateful people. Were you trying to calm the situation down, basically, when you saw those kind of things seem to spiral out of control? And we don't have any record of violence breaking out. We have no documentation of the kids saying anything back to the Black Israelites. I haven't read up on anything in regards to it. We just have the Black Israelites, like, screaming and shouting at people, they're garbage. Phillips, I think so. I think that was the push that we need to use the drum, use our prayer, and bring a balance, bring a calming to the situation. I didn't assume that I had any kind of power to do that, but at the same time, I didn't feel that I could just stand there anymore and not do something. It looked like these young men were going to attack these guys. What? Okay, first off, again, look up who the Black Israelites are. If you look up, like, how usually they portray themselves, they're usually tattooed. A lot of these guys are usually muscular, and the kids didn't have any weapons. They looked like, to me, they were in school uniform. That they were going to attack the Black Israelites? Are you kidding me? Where's the evidence? Where's the proof of that? There's, even with the video we've seen of, with Nathan starting to go towards the boys, you didn't see anybody strike, even with him calling out the girl. They were just shouting stuff. There's no violence intended. There was no Oh my god. Victim complex up the wazoo. This is... Golly. I hate CNN and I do not like this guy. They're going to hurt them. Yes, because kids, white scrawny boys, are going to attack the big, thick Black Israelites. That makes sense. Let's go with that narrative. They were going to hurt them because they didn't like the color of their skin. What? No. They didn't like their religious views. Yeah, being told that you're evil because of the color of your skin, yeah, I'd tell them to shut up too. They were just here in front of the Lincoln. Lincoln is not my hero, but at the same time, there was this was understanding that he brought the Emancipation Proclamation or freed the slaves. So you don't even know the history of Abraham Lincoln. He did pass a law to free the slaves, and some slaves did return to their masters because they didn't know what to do. That's the gist of it. There's more to it, obviously. And here are American youth who are ready to look like lynch these guys. What? Okay. No. To be honest, they look like they're going to lynch them. Lynching pretty much means that they're going to attack them pitchforks, what the KKK actually did to people of color back then. There was no rope, there was no KKK flags, there was nobody dressed as a KKK member. Oh my god. They were in this mob mentality. Where were their parents? Because they were obviously a student group. Where was their chaperones? Yeah, chaperones. Where were they? What were they doing? Why did they allow them to come to such a boiling point? And once again, we have no video of the students doing anything. We just have a video of the Black Israelites going out of their way to shout stuff. And the boys, from what I saw of the video, and I'm sure there's more footage, the boys were nowhere near the Black Israelites. From the videos I saw, Ichabod, did you see the boys getting close to the Black Israelites at all? Did something come out that I'm not aware of? Because you said you've dug into this a lot.
Not that I've seen. All I saw was them kind of keeping their distance from the Black Israelites. They are not unintimidating people.
Yeah, no.
They're actually pretty goddamn scary looking.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody going near that stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen videos in this. I've seen a lot of them which they're muscular. A lot of them do have violent tendencies just from like the stuff they've spewed out in public. I've seen videos of the Black Israelites. Like I said, they preach from something called the Apophaca. And that says that white people are eventually going to be slaves to people of color. Let me touch base with the chat here for a second. Let's see. Tom Riddle says Hebrew Israelites are the same coin as the Aryan nation religion. Aryan nations believe that white people are the 12 lost tribes of Israel. Hebrew Israelites believe that blacks are the 12 lost tribes. Well, if to look at that from a biblical perspective, anybody outside of the Israelites, by biblical standards, is considered the Gentiles, which was technically anybody outside of Israel. That's just going off the Bible off the top of my head. Kara says that's good. Falcon says I met a girl. Cool. Zio Gold, more or less.
Yeah.
Zio Gold says more or less from CNN. Yeah, I'm thinking either the interview, because I'm not going to say to play the video. We're going through the transcript. But yeah, it's CNN trying to paint this and asking specific questions, paint this a certain way. It's CNN, what do you expect? Tom Riddle, what is he referring to is that the Black Hebrew Israelites were calling for the murder of gays. Okay, that's a new one for me. The students disagreed. Well, good on them, because I would say something too. Traditional marriage, but calling for the death of someone based on their sexual orientation, creed, whatever, is seriously messed up. I'd be saying something too, telling them to shut up, because that's inciting violence, and that is actually hate speech. Calling for the death of a particular group based off of their sexual orientation. Let's see. They really need help. Yes, they do. Black Israelites and Stormfront are two groups that need to be sent off the planet. Into the sun. As far as Catholics go, you really can't call them worse than the KKK or Nazis, since KKK killed more Catholics than any other group, and Nazis had death camps for Italians and Catholics. Well, the Catholics, if you look at like their history in Europe, they slaughtered many people. They controlled many, many people. And there's actually I believe it's a monastery or nunnery that it was discovered. And I'm going to say this, and you guys can go look it up yourselves because I'm not talking about it here. It's rather dark. That they found is either at this nunnery or monastery, I believe in Ireland, that there was the remains of passed away children just like buried and piled. So yeah, it's Catholics have a whole mess up history. Each religion, I will say, each religion has their own dark history. Nobody can paint religion or any faith in a good light. everyone has their own dark history. And as for, like, what happened with the Nazis, they killed more than just Catholics and Italians. They killed anybody who was considered defect, killed gay people, mental people. If you actually look at the history, like, you weren't allowed to choose specific names when naming your children. If they got sick, they were supposed to get better within a lot amount of time. If not, they were taken away. So that is another thing that's not talked about, and I actually learned that through an illustrated cartoon. I believe it was Disney or someone else, but yeah, no, they did not want sick children of German descent either, and if they didn't get better, that child, like, went away. That time was freaking scary. Go ahead.
Should we take calls in the latter half of the show, or...?
We can. We're creeping on 9 o'clock here, so once we hit 9, we're going to go for a small 5-minute break for, like, bathroom or whatnot, and then we can take calls in the second half. So,
okay.
But, yeah, let me see if there's anything else in the chat. Let's see. Yet members of the IRA wanted to join the Axis powers during World War II. IRA, remind me what that is, Zeo Gold. Flying Falcon says, life not...
The Irish Republic Army.
Oh, see, I didn't read about that. I just remember, like, the Axis powers. You have Mussolini, you have the Tokyo Emperor at the time. I forgot his name. You had Hitler, and when they went through and conquered, it was either you convert to Nazism or you hail Hitler, or you get taken right to the camps, because that's how Australia and a lot of these other places got taken over. And if you went against that, off you went. So the freaking Holocaust was, like, horrendous, just horrendous. The IRA at the time didn't obviously follow the church, as they seemed okay with the Vatican being held captive. Yeah, as I said, Ireland and the Catholics have a really dark history together. So if you want to go look that up, go do that in your own time. I'm not looking at it because that's just depressing as hell. Irish Republican Army. But let me see what else I got in my assortment here. We went over... Oh, did we even finish the interview? I'm getting so sidetracked. Nope. Let's finish this interview real quick, and then we might go to a break here. Let's see. America, I believe... I didn't finish reading this. Yes, chaperones. Where were they? What were they doing? Why did they allow them to come to such a boiling point to allow such hate and racism just to be, and not teach them that this is wrong. Them protesting pro-choice and then being told that they're evil and not saying anything and speaking out against the killing of gays, that's wrong? Got it. Let's see. American foundations, freedoms that the reason white people came to this country is for freedom of religion, freedom of speech, not to allow these men to have their freedom to say what they felt was hurting them as a people, as a religion. I was listening to what they were saying. I was there for a different purpose. But yeah, when you call for the killing of somebody based off of their sexual orientation, like I said, I'm traditional marriage. I don't agree with LGBT, but even I have spoken out against violence against the LGBT. I mean, I've done videos on, there was a pastor out of Arizona who was praising the Pulse shooting. I'm sorry, I don't agree with putting to death anybody just because of their creed, sexual orientation. As long as you don't shove it in my face or you push it on children, I don't care. I don't agree with it, but yeah, no. What are you oofing? Oh, it's Pinoid! Hello, Pinoid! Sorry, I recognize the name. Let's see, Spain's and lots of Arab nations were with the Axis also. I did not know that. Also, Romania was part of the Axis. I believe I do remember that. Is this, are you referring to me, Pinoid? Are you asking if I'm a legal age? I'm quite legal. That's actually a
Where
compliment.
are you
If they
seeing
tell the
that?
kid.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, no, I have a chat bot pulled up, so it connects to my stream. I don't have to pull up the other thing. CNN, let me ask you about
Ah.
yeah, I use chatbot. That's how you see Hollow in Memory talking to. Let me ask you about what happened to you, these boys in the middle of this group, and you find yourself surrounded. How did that happen, and what did it feel like as a person standing there face to face with a young man who seems to be staring at you or glaring at you? How would you describe that moment? When I was there and I was standing there and I'd seen that group of people in front of me, I had seen the angry faces and all of that. Angry faces, you had the boys kind of like goofing off and trying to mimic what you guys were chanting. There's no angry faces in that crowd. I realized I'd put myself in a really dangerous situation. Okay, here's a group of people who were angry at somebody else, and I put myself in front of all that, and all of a sudden, I'm the one who's all that anger and all that wanting to have the freedom to just rip me apart. God, the victim mentality is real. That was scary, and I'm a Vietnam times veteran. No, you're not. No, you're not. People dug into your shit. No, you're not. And I know that mentality of there's enough of us, we can do this. Golly, the amount of bullshit this guy is spewing. CNN, the young man that was standing in front of you, what was he doing and what was he trying to do? As you were playing the drum, were you fearful? Were you trying to leave? No, you just stood there and stayed there. That was exactly the thing, is that I was there, I'd seen the mass of people, I had realized where I'm at and what I was doing, and I realized that there was other people with me, and I didn't want them hurt, or want them to get hurt, because there was 100 plus of these young men who were well-fed and healthy and strong and ready to do harm to somebody. Oh, because of the hats? No, they were there goofing around. Freaking... And they just wanted the point of, this is it, and spring. Okay, if this young man thought he was that point and what I was trying to do, I realized where I was at. I needed an out. You were shifting through the kids, you drifted past one boy and then stopped in front of another one. I needed an escape. You could have turned right around and walked away. I needed to get away, I needed to retreat somehow, but the only way I could retreat at the moment was what I see is just to go forward. No, you could have turned around and went the way you came. And when I started to go forward, that massive groups of people started separating and moving aside to allow me to move out of the way or to proceed. This young fellow put himself in front of me, which is bullshit. You put yourself in front of him, and there was plenty of room to go around and wouldn't move. If I took another step, I would be putting my person into his presence, which you did, and you stayed there. Into a space, I would have touched him, and that would have been the thing that the group of people would have needed to spring on me, which they didn't, including when you raised your drum to his face. He just stood there and smiled at you. The song I was singing, the reason for it was to bring unity and to bring love and compassion back to our minds. Let's see, what else? I was put in foster care, so I didn't have a traditional indigenous upbringing. I was brought up just like these young guys were brought up. Okay. Maybe I wasn't Catholic school, but I was public school. Catholic school and public school are two different areas altogether, dude. And when I went back home to my reservation and I asked questions, do you have an Indian name? Do you know where I could get some moccasins? I wanted to know, and that cousin of mine that was sitting there, standing there, and I was asking him these questions, he says, go home, white boy. That hurt. So... we're coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to touch base with the chat, but as you can see, he's just spewing a victim mentality, and he is full of horseshit. Wow. Okay, so...
Now.
Ain't you hanging with the raccoon? Yes, this is Ichabod Orange. He just changed his profile. Was up. 6 people watching... Yeah, my channel has been bottlenecked for a while. It's fine. I'm not here to make money. I'm just doing my own thing. Says, hey, what's up, Falcon? I'm on a
Not that we're opposed to making money.
No, we're not opposed to it, but I think I'm combating with other people. It's a Friday night, so my channel's actually gotten hidden. I've had views stolen. There's a whole story to my channel, but I'm just doing here my thing. So it's okay. I'm on a cloud. I met a girl. Sorry for saying it again. I couldn't help it. Well, that's okay. We're happy you met a girl. I know Ichabod. Yeah, this is Ichabod. So this is him.
Yes, I exist. And Pnoid and me have met.
Yeah, no, I've met Pnoid. I met him during the mundane Matt thingamabob. But
Yeah, that was a clusterfuck.
oh, that's a whole nother thing. But we're gonna take a 5-minute break here to go to the bathroom. I need to go clear my throat. But anyway, we will be back in just a few minutes. Let me see. Okay, so, if you guys want, we can finish the article, but as you can see, it's like a bunch of hooey. If not, I can take calls. Oh yeah, no, I'm getting irritated reading this garbage. Just from like the videos we've seen and like the tidbits. But yeah, I can take calls if you guys want to jump in the hallway. Door to the Discord is in the description. I can post it in the chat so you guys don't have to dig for it. If TomPnoid does want to come on, that's fine too. If not, we'll just continue to go through stuff. Let's see. What's in the hallway? Yeah, I don't see anybody in here. Nope. No one's in here yet. So we'll just continue to go through the article until somebody joins, when and if they join.
Fair enough.
Yep. I know this stream is not as exciting as last week's. Last week is not a usual thing. Okay, so we left off with CNN. You told me you don't like the word hate. Why is that? Phillips, I don't like to say the word hate. I don't like to have it in my heart around me, which is just, again, a bunch of horse shit. It's just not a thing I want to carry with me. I did hate at one time. I hated people, places, and things. I hated myself, and it's just not a... CNN, does it feel like hatred towards you because the kids will say, oh, we're just chanting our school chants, and this person came in between us, and we were chanting our school chants, and we were not being hateful? What did it feel like to you? Phillips, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Well, yes, I do, I guess. I heard the rhetoric before, and it's just one of those things. It got to be like water off a duck's back. Time for lies to be not accepted anymore. I don't accept there. I'm just chanting a school rant. So, again, he doesn't mention any details. He is vague, and I haven't read up anything about what the boys possibly was chanting. Because from the video we saw, they were mimicking what the natives were doing. So I don't know. Did you come across anything what they might have been chanting there, Ichabod?
Near as I've been seeing, they were chanting their school song once or twice, and then they started just bouncing up and down and trying to follow along with the dude's stuff when he started hitting the drum.
Yeah, because like the video footage shows like the drum beating, and it shows it doesn't show anything. It just shows the boys making noise. So that's why. Oh, hopefully you guys did not see that on camera because I had. Oh god, hopefully that wasn't caught on camera. Whoopsie. My allergies are really bugging the crap out of me. So. But anyway.
It happens.
Let's see. Was there fear? What did it feel like in that scenario for you as you were standing there sort of surrounded and the chants were going on and the young man was standing sort of in your face? When they said, let's go hit the drum, let's go sing, let's reclaim our space here, because that was the Indigenous People March rally, and when these two groups came together and started that I was witnessing, as it escalated from just two small groups, then the other one just went back and got more people, went back and got more people, went back and got more people until they were over 100 people. Maybe 200 young men. They're facing down what? 4 individuals? The Black Israelites, there was more than 4. From what the video footage, I think there's like 5 to 6 of them. Regardless, it seemed like the entire school was there, if not most of the students from Convington. Why did they need 200 people there other than it's hate and racism? They were a pro-life march. Usually that draws in a lot of people. They had their target, they had their prey, and I wish somebody would have been able to stand in front of the 17th Cavalry and my relatives at Wounded Knee. Oh my god, this guy's so irritating. I wish somebody would have stood there and said, no, you can't do this. Oh, so they can't march for life? They can't protest the pro-choice people who are there protesting them? So it's okay for one side to do it, but not the other. Got it. Um, we were talking about the issue between these two groups. There was one was the black Israelites, and the other was these mostly Caucasian young men. You were standing there, and they were standing around you chanting. How did you feel? What did you feel that they were sort of doing to you, or what are your feelings? But the thing, they weren't doing anything to the natives. You guys pushed yourselves in their group and started beating your drums, got in the kids' faces. Their response has been, we were all just chanting our school chants, and we weren't jeering, and we weren't making fun of anybody. Which, suffice to say, other people have said that the boys did start because they didn't really know what was going on, and they were just kind of mimicking what the natives were doing because they got up all in their bubbles and stuff like that. We were just standing around, and he just happened to be in the middle of our group. Is the sort of way they're saying this went. How do you feel about it? I feel like I denied them their prey. You didn't do anything. You were a pain in the ass. I feel like I denied them their prey, and they were going to take it out of me. No, you... Oh my god, I do not want to finish reading this. This is so freaking annoying. Were they being hateful? Just bottom line, did you feel the hate from this group of people? Did it feel like they were being aggressive? I do believe that's all I could feel, and I don't like feeling it. Fear, not for myself, but for the next generations. Fear where this country is going. Fear for those youths. Fear for their future. Fear for their souls, their spirit. What they're going to do to this country. The amount of bullshit that is coming from this guy's mouth. Victim mentality, you have a hero mentality, you have virtue signaling. Go ahead.
Chambers.
Yes.
TomPnoid has entered the Hearth.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, you moved him and you unmuted him. Cool. Hey, Pnoid, how are you doing, dude?
Yes.
Man, listen, TomPnoid is up in this goddamn bitch. Man, look, yo, fuck that Indian. Like, that Indian's a piece of shit. And I actually had somebody come on my fucking comment section of my video here a little bit ago, like, because I just woke up and I checked it out. Trying to defend the Hebrew Israelites, saying that these individuals on the street corners that, you know, I mean, are out here representing them do not represent them.
What do you mean? Are you saying that they're like different branches, or? Because I've seen different groups.
Man, look, home. Everybody says that. Yeah, yo, look, man. All right, yo, look, if part of your brand is doing some shit, you know what I'm saying, you should change your brand if that's what it's hitting for. You know, because like they're like, oh, that's not the same people as us, and I'm like, yes, it is. And I mean, the Hebrew Israelites, the Black Hebrew Israelites, you're all the fucking same. And I mean, quit bullshit. It was, and of course, it was a white bitch. You know what I'm saying, from the suburbs. That was the deal. Some college broad who was probably fucking some black dude at some college, and I mean, try to like take up his religion. That's fucking atypical for the goddamn brand.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of college kids these days, they're just spoon-fed a bunch of shit. If you've seen that the way that the colleges are going, the intuition, certain literature is getting tossed out, people are wanting to rewrite science, biology. It just like, to me at this point, for the most part, I don't see a point of going back to college, and I'm not like shit talking those who are in college, stay in college, but be careful of what you take in, because a lot of the colleges have turned like full-blown, I don't want to say libetard, because there are liberals who speak out against what's being taught. Snowflake have gone full snowflake syndrome. So, but I don't.
I've gone full social justice warrior. That's the deal. Full social justice warriors is what you're looking for there.
Mm-hmm. What's your take? Like, seeing all the videos, the articles, like, what is your take on what's going on? Just looking at the video, the little snippets that's come out.
Man, look, you know what I'm saying? I've done like 3 videos on this so far. Like, my first one was wrong, and then the next 2 were like spot on. I did a video about the Black Hebrew Israelites as the second video and apologize to the kids. And then the third one was, the video basically about the Nathan cocksucking dude, the fucking Donga's grandpa. Right? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the whole thing's fucked up. Like, And they're just trying to find a way to blame white people for more bullshit because everybody hates white people. And I say, if you're in college, leave right now and don't go back. You don't need an education. You know what I'm saying? I make $80,000 a year and I got a fucking GED. You do not need a college education to make money. And honestly, most individuals with a college education aren't making any fucking money anyway. Get out, leave, and go do your own goddamn thing. You're better off. Free thinkers aren't taught by books. Is what it is.
And that is true for the most part. As I've told people, like, don't let anybody spoon feed you, do your own research. Like, I grew up in a Christian background, and there's stuff that I've learned about my own faith just from what people have taught me throughout the years. It's a bunch of hooey, it's a bunch of garbage. Like the narratives people want to spin outside of religion, it's a bunch of garbage, and you really have to dig into stuff for yourself, cross compare, and there's stuff you're not going to understand until possibly you're older, or possibly you study a certain subject more. But at the same time, I don't see a point of going back to college. I could see like an internship or something of that nature, but nah, man.
Well, you could go like learn a skill or a trade or an ability. Like that's way more helpful than fucking actually like going to college. Like, okay, so what a lot of people don't know about college is, and this is some shit that I was actually going to cover in like a video or a live stream or maybe on a church. Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga, right? What you should really be looking for is skills and abilities, and the reasons why they want you to go to college. There we go. We're back to it again. But I derailed my train of thought a second. It's the same reason why people wanted you to be married and have kids back in the day. It's because they wanted you to have debt, so you were forced to work, so employers had an ability to stand here and negotiate terms with you. Because if you don't have any debt and you don't have anybody relying upon you, they're way less able to just push their garbage onto you. You know what I mean? Like, you're able to tell them to go fuck themselves, take a shit in their desk, and walk out. You know, and that's kind of the reason why they want you to go to college. So you have that mortgage on your motherfucking neck that you have to pay every week or every month or whatever the case might be. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean? That's really what that whole thing's actually about. It's about them wanting you to have debt so they can negotiate with you.
Yeah, something
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and something that I was told too when because I spent like one quarter in college and I couldn't finish college because I moved. A lot of these admission counselors do get paid with the more students they're able to get into certain degree classes or whatnot, and even with these degrees they don't make any money. But the administrators still try because for every student they get paid for every student. And I heard this and it's just like, well, that's kind of messed up. So they don't even push the trades or the degrees that will actually make you any money. And because of the way that technology is going, a lot of trades and degrees are getting tuned out. They're getting erased. A perfect example.
Well, they're not getting erased. They're not getting erased in any way, shape, or form. It just people aren't learning them because rich white people are fucking retarded. All right, Southern Californians and New Yorkers are fucking shitheads. Them and most of the Northeast is kind of the deal. They're retarded and they think they're above working with their fucking hands for a day. They think it's easier to let a Mexican do the fucking labor for them than it is to go out and do the work themselves because they're fucking assholes and they're spoiled brats. And either A, they're a wasp, or B, they were raised by their mom and they were taught they were better than everybody else around. On some real shit.
Yeah, I've honestly never been to
we still need degrees. You know what I mean?
Huh?
We still need all this shit. Like, you still need plumbers and electricians and fucking, you know what I mean, carpenters and all that shit. Like, stuff still needs built. But nobody's doing it. Like, they have all these fucking road construction and construction jobs that are paying $100,000 a year. But because it's construction, nobody wants to take it. You know what I mean? Because these fucking rich cocksuckers are told that they're better than that. You know what I mean? They're looked down upon by their fucking, you know what I mean, family. Go, oh, he works with his hands? Like, yeah, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, some of the richest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. You know, we're fucking, we're fucking carpenters and plumbers and electricians and shit.
Yeah, no, there's something I've noticed. A lot of like the rich classes are so out of touch with like the middle class and the people who do work with ants. Like for me, like the most like down and dirty I've ever gotten was either helping parents with their jobs because they had to clean a few properties. Like the worst property they ever had to clean was like an abandoned farm, and that was like the nastiest thing I had ever seen in my life. There's physical jobs that I personally want to do because I wouldn't make it in them. I'm very petite. I'm starting to have problems with my wrists and things like that. But yeah, I've done physical jobs. I've done disgusting jobs. I used to work for a movie theater. I've done serving. I've done fast food. What are you laughing at?
Yo, one of my first jobs, I had to go through with a grocery cart and an eggplant and these massive rows of chickens stacked on top of each other and pull the dead ones off the fucking bottom of the goddamn cages after they've been shit on and stomped into the cage and toss them into the grocery cart. I had jobs where I was cleaning blood out of auction cars for $7.25 a fucking hour. Like, yo, movie theaters are not that bad.
Well, no,
Not that bad.
No, I'm saying that's like the grossest jobs I've had. That's like my level of gross. But yeah, no, that's pretty like no. They would be ended up cleaning up after me at that point. Ugh, no, I wouldn't even know. But yeah,
Yeah, look, I had a job. I had a job where I was shoveling shit. Like literally, like people used to poop and take a shit into this like hole and piss and shit, and like fucking you had to dig it out with a fucking scoop shovel and put it into a barrel by barrel, and have it taken out from underneath. And like it was like a, I don't know, probably like 200 feet by 150 feet deep fucking hole, and you just sat there and dug this some bitch out, mixed up with mud and fish guts because it was water pulled out of a fucking river. And I mean, it ran into an expander for a fucking massive thing to move pipes around. Well, actually round out pipes, knock dents out of them for like the Alaskan pipeline.
so pretty
Like,
much
man, come on, man.
you cleaned out what sounds like, was it like a type of water filter to where they pulled all this yucky water and you pretty much had to clean the trash out of like all the trap stuff? Is that what I'm
No.
No?
All right. So I used to work at the plant that made the fucking pipes for the Alaskan pipeline, right? You know what I mean? And like we were working replacing the pipeline, and so in the middle of the plant there was a hydrostatic hydraulic fucking press that basically pumped in high pressurized water into these giant steel pipes, and it would knock dents out of them with like fucking 200,000 psi.
Damn.
But all the water on the inside of that was pulled out of a river. And all that water would come down and go underneath of this fucking machine. And it would have like fish guts, and mud that got pulled off the bottom of the river. And like guys would come over and like just pee in it or take a shit if you had to, you know what I mean? Because you didn't have time to actually like, go to the bathroom because it was like across the fucking plant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like once or twice a year, you'd have to go underneath of there and clean all the mud and guts and turtles and fucking frogs and fish and snakes and beavers, and people's, feces and urine. And you had to like pull it all up with a shovel and dig it all out and put it in barrels and move it out of there.
Oh, jeez. That just sounds
I got radiation dosed working at this motherfucker home in like a 1940 steel mill that we had rebuilt from the ground up at the Bethlehem Steel, just abandoned it, and everybody stole everything that wasn't nailed to the fucking ground. Like, man, look, Americans need to understand, like, yo, look, man, life is not what y'all think it is, and like times get hard. Y'all, and just these suburban, this is the problem. It's like once you have success, this weak suburbanite shit ends up overtaking your goddamn society, and you end up in this manner. You end up with all this dumbass bullshit of people talking about fucking, a hat being a sign of goddamn racism. Like,
yeah,
man, listen,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like the red MAGA hat being equated to a Ku Klux Klan hood or cap or whatever doesn't make any sense because, as we talked about, mentioned the talk. I cannot find the tweet. It was done by I think his name is Terrace Williams. I believe I have the right name. But he pretty much reacted and responded to it to where there was a clip of the talk. Whoopi Goldberg goes like, why do we respond this way? What is going on? And her other host is like, well, because we're so desperate to get Trump out of office. And they're wanting to turn his symbol into the most hateful thing they can and paint it with this very darkened brush, which is highly inaccurate because they don't like him. So they're willing to go out of their way to demonize anybody who's going to associate with Trump or promote him or vote him in or wear his stuff. And like, did you hear about them calling for a school shooting at Convington because they're wearing MAGA hats? Did you come across that at all?
Nah, but I did see the day that this story broke. I was on Twitter and that's how I heard about the story. And like, there was like people from like Jezebel and fucking the HuffPo who were literally paying individuals for the fucking yearbooks at Covington to dox these individuals. Like, I know how fucking dark these retards are.
Yeah, no,
Well, and the Disney producer that did that really detailed image of tossing children into a wood chipper.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was, I think his first name is Jacob. And I think he does like Disney cartoons. But yeah, he pretty much had a wood chipper, and it looked like a scene out of Fargo, just a little bit less intense. If you guys know what Fargo is, they had a wood chipper scene. Anyway, somebody goes through the wood chipper, where he said that let's just chuck these kids into a wood chipper hat first, and it's just like, what the crap? You guys are nuts. And these are blue checkmark people. And to like top it all off, what makes this 10 times worse is you have people, conservatives, anybody who's speaking out against the kids getting bashed left and right, you either have them getting struck on YouTube. Styx was struck. I actually have, let me pull up that tweet because he did a video on this and it got taken down for, I think it was hate speech or spam, and he got a strike on his channel. Hold on, I'm going, oh, here it is, ha ha ha. So people are getting blasted left and right, or pretty much flattened for speaking out against those calling for violence against the kids. And it's like, Jack, go after the people who are inciting violence. You say that hate speech is not allowed on your platform, but you have people calling for the death of kids. Oh, it doesn't. What? Oh, he deleted it. Why did he delete it? Crap! Stop doing this. But here, let me see.
The wood chipper guy?
No, it's the. Okay, this is what I like about Discord. Let me pull up my stream here. I'm gonna have to change what is on the stream here. Discord.
The sad part is it was a very pretty picture.
Huh?
Like if you take the like blatant murder out of it, it was a very pretty picture.
Yo, for fuck's sake, stop! God damn it!
Yeah.
God damn it! It's a very pretty picture of tossing children into a goddamn wood chipper.
Hey, I can appreciate the art without liking the goddamn context.
Yeah. So
no, you can't. No.
Yes, I can.
This is hard.
No, you're not allowed to do that. No.
This is hard to see, but Discord Chrome or Discord got a hold of the image, and this is what I like about Discord. So this is what Styx got. One thing, it is a community guideline describe what we do not allow on YouTube. Your video, the Convington Catholic High School students did nothing wrong, was flagged for review, and they determined that it violated the guidelines. And so Styx now has a temporary mark on his account. Let's see, we encourage free speech and defend anyone's right to express their points or view, even if unpopular. However, YouTube does not allow hate speech. So Styx, sticking up for the children, is hate speech. Sometimes there's a line between what...
I caught one too.
You got what? You got struck too?
I caught one too. I didn't get struck. My video got adulted. And I mean, fucking, it was like We do not allow bomb making or fucking dangerous acts on video because I showed who the black Hebrew Israelites are.
Yeah.
Oof.
But yeah, he's got like a 3
Yeah,
month.
that'll happen. That'll happen.
Yeah, he's got like a 3 month strike on his channel now, and I forgot what that does. If an actual community guideline strike prevents you, I believe it prevents you from streaming. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
So,
I had one of those happen. I called an actual strike for making fun of mariachi band.
Aw.
So are you not?
It'll happen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? YouTube's retarded.
Are you
No,
not?
that happened back in like
Oh.
May. That and I'm already I'm done with mine. Yeah, I'm allowed to stream. I stream all the fucking time on my channel now, but yeah, like back in May, you gotta self censor yourself. Like, man, look, the mariachi band fucking union on YouTube is ridiculous. Them motherfuckers will bang you. Do not say bad things about mariachi bands, or they will come get your ass. Yeah.
See, I don't know how I've managed to fly underneath the radar. Like I said, as you can see, my view count right now is just kind of blip. And I'm thankful for those who are here. Don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on the people who are here. My channel, though, has been throttled, and I feel like it's been hidden and shadow banned from a lot of people, because I have well over 2,000, but as we've seen, that sub count doesn't matter. It's whether or not you're in the algorithms. I've had to actually scrub my channel of a few videos, take videos off of monetization, so every time that the apocalypse hit, or people got their hit with demonetization for spam, my channel, for some weird reason, has flew underneath the radar. And I'm not bragging, but my channel has managed to get away from all these scrapes and cuts. But I've taken a massive hit. My view counts do not compare. They're like a drop in the bucket compared to my subs. So my channel got throttled really bad. So
Jack
Yeah.
Morrissey, by the way, was the one who put out the hashtag MAGA kids go screaming hat first into the wood chipper.
Yeah, see, I knew it was Jack.
Well, you should probably kick him in the nuts. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, he needs a good kick in the nuts, but I mean, in hindsight, without context, that is a very artistfully done picture, Tom.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. All right, hang on, man. I'm gonna look at this picture because I just got it sent to me. Hang on.
Okay, why are you doing that?
Right, let me look here.
Touch base with.
Oh, that is not a bad picture. I'm not gonna front. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very pretty picture. It's just the context is a little depressing.
Yeah, it got that old school. Who's that dude? Jack Wolf type of feel to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The picture. I mean, I saw the picture, and I'm not gonna put it on stream just because I don't want to get struck. But the picture itself wasn't that graphic per se, but the indication, you pretty much had a wood chipper against a snowy background. It looked like I said, it looked like something out of Fargo. And then you had what looked to be drawn on blood. And that's about it. But still, the implication is horrific. These are kids wearing hats. They're teenage boys. They were there for a pro-life march, but you're calling for their death because of wrongthink. Because of supposedly being racist because of they were pro-Trump. That's Nazism. Yeah. For all the screaming of, oh, neo-Nazis, they're Nazis. No, you guys are the real Nazis calling for death for a wrong thing. That is exactly what the Nazis did. Let me touch base with the chat here. San Francisco. Oh, yeah, San Francisco.
What up, chat?
San Francisco is a literal shithole right now. Let's see, where did I leave off? Indoctrination factories. Someone says, hi, Chambers, hello. Greenleaf says, amen, many universities, indoctrination factories, which is very true. Colleges have gone to hell. Zeo Gold, kiss universities goodbye because SJWs are driving people away from them. Yep, and that's also with the sexual assault thing. The false charges, which, Betsy DeVos did overturn, by the way, to where they now look at every case and see both sides instead of just accusing the student and throwing him out. Greenleaf, yep, the get woke go broke is real, which is very much true. Just wish it would start happening a bit faster. Yeah, it's starting to pick up. People are getting fed up with the PC getting shoved down their throats. Slayer, I'm back. Welcome back. Let's see. Falcon, I'm not going to college. Remember, everything needs maintenance. Example, the airplanes need maintenance. I like airplanes. I'm going to get my airframe and power plant ratings. Nice. Kaio says hi. Hi, Kaio. Greenleaf, but they push credit cards onto students right while they are signed up for financial aid and student loans because the schools get a kickback from the credit card companies' banks. And that is true enough. And that's actually the same with employers, like any retail store, like Sears, JCPenney, Home Depot. A lot of these places will push credit cards. And something my mom told me, I don't have a credit card like at all, but I also don't have a credit score because I've never messed with a credit card. If I don't have money for it, I don't need to buy it.
You just named two companies that are damn near out of business.
Huh? What?
You just named two companies that are damn near. You named two companies that are damn near out of business.
Sears and JCPenney? Oh yeah, I know. Sears refuses to update, so they've like consolidated, and then JCPenney, I think it's similar to Sears, but at least they've updated. Let's see. Trade schools, the way to go. Yes, you can actually learn a lot more from trade schools and make a lot more money that way. Falcon, in 5 years, I could be making more than 1,000K and no debt. Ooh, congrats. That is awesome. Someone says, oh god, chicken farms are gross and smelly. Let's see. Crop Busters, 32K. That's actually really cool. Let's see, that's gross. Alright, Tom. Oh, people commenting on your thing. Holy shiz, just hit it with that high pressure water right into the ground. Trying to animate. Did you just seriously say someone wants to shoot kids over hats? Yes, I can actually pull up an article real quick if you want.
Yeah.
Yep, they can't pinpoint a single racist or hateful act by President Trump. No, they can't, because he has stated that he doesn't mind immigrants, but he wants them to come legally, and he wants illegals to stop killing our people, and that's fair. But they will spot all the buzzwords.
No, he wants a merit-based system, right? A merit-based system, which is what the rest of the fucking world does. Like, add some real shit. And what you gotta, like, all right, so does anyone know why we actually have immigration? Like, do you know why they're pushing for immigration?
I know it has to do with
like
free
the actual
votes.
Reason?
I know it has to do with free votes.
No.
Was it global citizen,
no.
maybe?
No, not at all. That's not the deal.
No?
No, not at all.
Okay.
All right, so here's the deal. We have programs to pay for long term. All right, Social Security, Medicare, welfare, fucking education, fucking the military, government, fucking benefits, pensions, all these things. We have all this massive amount of debt. We have like $200 trillion in unfunded liabilities, depending on how you count it, right? And in order to pay for this, you have to have bodies. Issue is Americans are not having kids. Black people, white people, doesn't matter. Whoever the fuck you pick out, they're not having children, all right? Because, it used to be times are really good. Now times are getting harder, and it's getting harder and harder to be able to survive. The average median home price right now, or average median new home price is $400,000, which is fucking ridiculous. But the actual median take-home pay of an American is $37,000. It's less than it was in 1978. People don't want to talk about that. So what are they doing? They're bringing in immigrants to be able to continue to fucking tax them long-term and tax their grandkids so they could pay for this fucking spending that the government has. That's really all this shit's actually about. And they've said it quite a few times here recently, which is why Europe's trying to bring in all the Africans and the fucking Muslims and shit into their borders. No difference with them. All this shit is the exact same thing. They need bodies to be able to pay for shit. But the reality is most of these individuals will never make any fucking money because, hell, half of them don't have any fucking ability to fucking read when they get here. Like a lot of 35% of them Hondurans in this last fucking March were illiterate. They couldn't even read their own fucking language, let alone ours. You know what I mean? So you're not bringing in the best of the best. And Trump says we need to fucking bring in, what's this shit called? A merit-based system. So bring in smart people. Me, personally, I think we need to let nobody the fuck in. I think we need to close the goddamn borders down, let everything go the fuck down. Repeal the 19th Amendment, take away women's right to motherfucking do basically everything. You know what I'm saying? Make them be moms and wives again. And, put everything back where it's supposed to be so we have fucking fucking family housing units. You know what I mean? Like, you know, family housing, you know, like where everybody lives inside of one goddamn house. Not like, you know, like grandma, but like mom, dad, and the kids can live in a house. You can have all the housing fucking ends up going back into a regular part of where you need to be at as far as price is concerned. Employers will have to actually vie for your fucking wages and pay you what you're supposed to be paid. And life will be way, way better for all of America as a fucking whole. We can end the education system that we don't fucking need anymore, which is a complete colossus. Believe it or not, our top 3 spending items right now is fucking Social Security at 1.4 trillion, Medicare at 1.5 trillion, and education at 1.1 trillion every year. That's a lot of goddamn money that we're spending, and that's more than we take in fucking taxes every year, by the way, for most individuals who are doing the goddamn math. Mm-hmm. So, and that's before we got to the military or anything the fuck else. Like, things are getting really, really fucking reckless because you continue to print money and borrow it to be able to fucking pay for all this social spending, you know what I mean, that we don't have the ability to fucking pay for. Because we don't have the tax receipts, because individuals aren't buying goods. Things ain't working. Everything's up for grabs. Repeal the motherfucking 19th Amendment. Repeal the 13th fucking amendment and take away fucking the right to enslave you because of the fact that you fucking, that's something that people need to read up too. Fuck, I had no idea about that. Yo, the 13th Amendment says that you're allowed to be enslaved if you're fucking convicted of a crime. Fucking nonsense. That's awful. And that needs to go away as well. But yeah, fucking we need we need to be able to have fucking, the family focused family unit is the most important part of this goddamn country. Strong families make strong communities make strong states make a strong fucking nation. Tom Peace for president, 20 motherfuckers. God damn it!
Yeah, somebody said you were a turd-flinging monkey. I don't think PnoidNoid thinks that women are going to be replaced by sexual robots. I don't think he's turd-flinging monkey.
No.
That shit crazy.
No. Yo, turd-flinging monkey is cool as shit. He's been on my channel mad time. Yo, TFM is one of the smartest motherfuckers on YouTube. Real shit. And he's trying to maintain the status quo more than I am. Like, I don't think we need more people. He thinks we need more people or else we're going to be conquered. I think that that's not the deal because we can militarily and technologically fucking advance better than any other nation in the whole fucking world. And we don't really need more people because that's where TFM's at. And that's where me and him have our disagreements as far as how shit works. But the road to get to where we need to be, I believe, is the same as he does. It's just, man, look, all this nonsense that we have right now, it would all fucking disappear very, very quickly if we could sit here and just repeal the goddamn 19th fucking amendment. That's what all this is about. Women don't care about children, in case nobody's noticed. You know what I'm saying? We have 650,000 fucking abortions a goddamn year. Women are more likely to fucking give up their fucking kids and commit fucking child abuse than anybody else in the goddamn nation. Yo, you're more likely to be murdered by your motherfucking mom than by your dad by a staggering fucking rate. Right? Now, a lot of that, that has to do with the fact that moms have the kids. You know what I mean? And moms are more than willing to continue and perpetuate a fucking system that's going to damage their sons in the motherfucking long run. You know what I mean? Women don't care about children. Most of these motherfucking Twitter people who are out here hollering all to shoot fucking the MAGA kids and fucking dox them and fucking, you know what I mean, blow up their school and all this fucking bullshit, all that nonsense. Yo, that was mostly perpetuated by fucking women. They do not care about children. We need to get away from this ideology and stop fucking pretending that fucking they give a fuck about anybody but their goddamn selves. It's their biological imperative to do what they do. You can't blame them. I love females. I got daughters. And I'm saying, but this shit needs to motherfucking stop, and things need to change, and we need to have a conversation about it.
Here's my perspective. I mean, I don't like most women. That's just with all the feminist crap coming out. And that's nothing to my female viewers. I find most women these days to be freaking batshit insane. I don't think we need to repeal the 19th Amendment, but I do think we need to roll back some things and look at reality, because my gender, mostly feminist, and I know not all feminists, hashtag not all, have pushed their way.
Hashtag all feminists.
What?
Only the most extreme people label themselves as feminists.
Yeah,
and I mean, 10% of the population, 10% of fucking females fucking are willing to say they're feminists. If you're willing to say you're a feminist, I do believe I have a wood chipper for you. I'm just saying.
Shh, no, not on my channel.
I don't have
Bad
a wood
Pinoy.
chipper though. I need to buy it.
Bad. No. Holy shit.
Yo,
Bad Pinoy.
baskets.
Disavow.
Baskets. I got baskets. We can put them in baskets with some cinder blocks and a body of water.
No,
That's where I'm at.
disavow. As Ralph says, disavow. I
Bitches.
disavow this.
If they survive, if they survive, then we know they're a witch. And if
Hang
not,
on,
then
hang
collateral
on. I
damage.
know a way to handle this. I know a way to handle this. The views and opinions expressed by TomPnoid do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of By the Hearth. There you go.
Yeah, I'm super sober right now. Cause that's,
Oh.
yeah, fucking man, nah, like yo, baskets. We could drown them like we used to do. Set them
I
on
am
fire.
so
Disavow.
goddamn thick right now. I
Disavow.
don't have the time for this.
But anyway, as I was saying, my feminists have pushed their boundaries more than they should. Like, it's crippled our military. And if you've noticed, they've taken over a lot of different movements. They took over BLM. They took over LGBT. They've been pushing abortions, and actually New York just passed a law saying that they are now allowing late-term abortions, which is actually straight-up child murder, and I'm trying to get the numbers, like, they can terminate up to 24 weeks, and it's just like, holy shit. So, yeah, that's feminism.
Yo, I just did a video on that. Like, fucking 3 or 4 hours ago, I did a video on that late-term abortion thing in New York. Anybody wants to check it out, you can go look at it. It's on my motherfucking channel. You know what I mean? It's actually pretty well done. And what they did was they're covering a lot of bases with this law, but the one that they're really covering that's going to aggravate the fuck out of everybody are people who didn't know they were pregnant until 24 weeks, and they decided they want to have an abortion at that point.
See, at that point, here's what I tell people, because I've gotten into arguments with people like, well, you can't tell when you're pregnant at 4 weeks. Bull freaking shit. It is called education. You have the material online. We have pregnancy tests. We have ovulation tests. We have gynecologists. We women, there are so many over-the-counter feminine products that we can use to determine our pregnancy. And if you have unprotected sex, you better be grabbing a pregnancy test and testing about, I want to say, 2 weeks later, maybe 3 weeks. It takes like 4 days for implantation, I believe, and then 10 to 12 days afterwards for the hormone to be picked up. So yes, we have education out there, and that's why we can make an argument for proper sex ed, not this abstinence crap, which I've actually covered this in a video long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, proper sex ed.
Abstinence should be taught too. Abstinence should be taught too. Like,
not
I mean, maybe
itself.
you shouldn't be a whore.
But here's the thing: when I say,
I feel you, but like, maybe you shouldn't be a whore. Like, that should be something that's offered. Like, hey, bitch, maybe you should keep your goddamn legs closed. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Fucking, we don't need you having goddamn AIDS at the age of fucking like 17. You know what I mean? Like, that would probably be helpful.
yeah.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, yo, we need to cover all bases.
Well, and that starts a whole nother trail, because as I've talked about, is like, because you have, especially with the churches you have, and I know we're tangenting from the topic, but you have churches that do just abstinence only. They don't go into teenagers developing their sexual side, which is getting aroused, the body maturing, explaining what birth control is for, which is just more than preventing pregnancy, especially when it comes to women. That's also a hormone balancer.
I thought that was part of, I don't know, I went to Catholic school and that was taught to me.
Yeah, well, this isn't taught to everybody, though. My church, my own youth group.
It is. Yeah, why would you teach it at a youth group? If you go to school, it should be taught to you. It's about school. Like, youth groups shouldn't teach that to you. That's not the place for that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Your school teaches that to you. That's what the school's for.
Yeah, but not every school offers that. And I'm just saying, the church is part of the problem, because like with my youth group, hold on, you have to let me.
What school doesn't offer that?
Not every school offers it, because parents fight against it. Shh, let me finish, because I do have a point. Not every school offers this.
Where?
Huh? I don't want to like dox where I went to school,
but biology.
The high school I went to does not have all those classes, nor requires all the students to take those classes. That's what I'm telling you. Not every high school makes the kids do it. Yeah, but anyway, as I said, the church is part of the problem because the way that they teach sex, instead of going, okay, yes, it is from a biblical point of view between a man and a woman, but they don't go into the development. They don't go into the emotional side. Like, okay, this is what's going to happen, because it doesn't need to be talked. You were dealing with hormonal teenagers, and the church wants to cover all that up. I've heard various stories. I have my own story where we sat there, and this was at like Bible camp or whatnot, and it was in my teens, where literally all the youth pastor said, do not go into anything else. Do not explain anything else, but just said sex was straight up penis and vagina. That was it. That was the end of it. It's going... So, yeah, no, they're part of the problem, too, because they don't even happen to open that door for dialogue. And so you have all the teenagers going like, F you, and they're learning from other sources that are not healthy, if you know what I mean. So, like I said, that is a whole other can of worms. But that does fall into the birth control thing that does need to be talked about, because you have like people like the Catholics, you have people saying, oh, birth control is not of God. Hey, stupid. There's more than one use for birth control. It's pregnancy prevention. It is a hormone balancer for many women who are born with unbalanced hormones, which can cause weight gain, hair loss, all that wonderful shit, depression, and eventually to suicidal thoughts if it's extreme. So it's just like, no, that's a whole nother ballgame. But as I said, going back to like with this topic and then the 19th Amendment, is I don't think it needs to be repealed, but I do think boundaries do need to be put back into place, like with the military, because the biggest thing about this push is like with our military, because they've lowered standards, like, oh, well, we want more women in. No, you want more strong people in. Screw whatever gender is in the military. I don't give a damn. I don't care. I know Trump just enacted his transgender ban, which a bunch of people are up in arms about that shit. It's like, no. What's going to happen when you guys can't get your hormones? Because, as we had on the channel when she's in the chat, Anime, transsexual people who go through the full process are on hormone replacement therapy for life. Trananime. I don't know what Trananime. But so it's like Trananime, yeah. Sorry, I get her name. But she's been on the channel, and we've talked about stuff, and it just, you're on hormones for life. And if you can't get that stuff in the battlefield because you're either avoiding bombs, you're carrying people off the field, you're moving packs around, weapons, food, medical supplies, the whole shebang, you guys become a hazard. And this is nothing to transsexual people, but this is reality. When you are constantly taking medication, and then for a while they lowered the standards that transitioning people didn't have to pass certain physical requirements. I know the Navy just did away with that, where they said once you come out of transition, you have to be able to pass all the requirements. If not, you get the boot. So they're rectifying that, but that's also something too that, again, that was a feminism push. And it's just the feminism has consumed so many different movements. Like you have feminism trying to defend Islam, which is like, no. But yeah, like I said, I think boundaries do need to be rolled back, or rather enforced. We're getting ready to.
Well, the hijab is a feminist or fucking instrument.
It's become.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, no, it's become a feminist instrument. But like anyone who has studied Islam and what the hijab actually does, it is a emotional and mental prison. You are not allowed to show your face. Islamic women, if they're only allowed to show their face to their fathers and their husbands, and if they show their face to any other man, it is considered the same as their virginity stolen from them. Like for medical practices, this is just from my sophomore year. Go ahead.
I like the idea. I like the idea of bitches having picnic blankets. You know what I'm saying? Like, like any given point, you could take a Muslim bitch somewhere and have a picnic. You know what I mean? Like they're like Swiss Army wives and shit. You know what I mean? You can fucking take them out in the cold. You got a blanket to fucking cover up with. You know what I mean? Like, I like the Muslims got the right idea. You know what I'm saying? Like you could pack that bitch down going to the movie theater and shit. She got sodas and steaks strapped to her fucking legs and shit. You know what I mean? You could smuggle all the food you need. You don't need no damn popcorn. You can fucking snuggle a microwave underneath that goddamn burger. They got the right idea. You know what I'm saying? They got the right idea. Just saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Carry a spare battery for your car. You could do lots of things with a burqa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let me...
What?
Oh my god, you were right. So let me touch base with the chat and let me bring up an article real quick. Actually, let me bring up that article real quick because it's going to be faster. I have the article pulled up. We talked about Traname asked if they were actually encouraging mass shootings. Yes, they are. This is by the DCChronicle.com. Radical Democrats encourage mass shooting at Convington High School because people were calling for shots to be fired. Let me see if they actually have pictures of tweets. Oh, yes, they do. This is from It's Aaron, a school shooting at Covenant would be acceptable. And then they have a copy of that one. Oh, there was more tweets. But yeah, no, people were calling for shootings, but you won't see the tweets now because people have been deleting stuff because of the ongoing lawsuit. The lawyer, I forgot the name of the lawyer that has taken on defending the boys, but his law firm has been getting death threats and all kinds of things, so they're now trying to harass the lawyer. So yeah, it's gotten crazy over a freaking hat. Over a damn hat because people hate Trump that freaking much that they want to demonize these boys and it's just so.
Well, this is what happens when your news media puts the battery in half your goddamn population. Now that's what the fuck the news media is doing. Like, instead of doing journalism and just being honest about shit, if I can just stand in here and going, hey, look, here's what's going on, here's the fucking facts, you know what I'm saying? Here's the fucking, the math. They're just fucking standing there going, Trump's a racist. You guys need to be in the streets rioting right now. Like, I was watching Bill Maher, remember, there was Bill Maher, I forget what episode it was. It was like right after the fucking election when somebody came on and they said, fucking some bullshit, they defended Trump, and he's like, everybody needs to calm down and relax a little bit. Everything will be okay. Oh, Stephen Fry was on. And he said, yo, this is America. Shit's going to be okay. Your government's really fucking strong. Don't worry. He's not going to be able to fuck shit up too much. And then, the Democrat fucking, there was a fucking, a Democrat representative on the show. And they go, no, you need to be in the streets and keep rioting. Get back out there right now. And I was like, yo, man, listen, nigga, do you understand you're calling for social unrest when, the people don't feel like doing it?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, we're going to have to start, drowning motherfuckers. That's where I'm at, man. We need to start, having, the old school witch hunts, man. I'm telling you, drown motherfuckers, burn them at the stake. It will be good. Females who be, standing there talking too much. Just throw them in the goddamn river. It would be cool. Yes.
No,
yes.
Disavow.
Drown motherfucking witches. Yo, we need to get back to drowning witches.
No.
Disavow.
Calls to violence, please.
No.
Yes. Drown witches.
Disavow.
We're coming up on time.
Yep. Okay, let me touch base with the chat here. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see.
Have some fun, man.
No. Not all of us are third wave retarded feminists. No. Disavow. Greenleaf, Clinton's used prisoners for yard work and free labor when Slick Willie was governor of Arkansas. I did not know that. Zio Gold, now he's gone incel. Me in here. Greenleaf, the rest of us can't stand 10%.
Well, I'm not going incel. What are you talking about? I get fucking more pussy than the goddamn fucking tampon, nigga. Yo, I've been in more pussies than tampon. The fuck you talking about, incel? Goddamn women. I swear to God. Look, one in the chat if we should be drowning witches.
No,
God damn it. Put a one in the chat. We should be drowning witches.
Oh my God.
I bet the chat has some ones.
I'm echoing.
Chat's gonna have some ones. I'm telling you.
Let's see. TomPnoid is having a meltdown, and New York is allowing non-physicians to perform abortions. Yes, I did read that. Non-medical staff can perform abortions, which, by the way, there was a case a month or two back of a botched abortion, and the lady died. So yeah, anytime a botched abortion, and there's already a medical risk to having an abortion from scars and whatnot, yeah, and those can make you infertile and kill you if they go wrong. So, better idea, TomPnoid. If you're a feminist and you're begging for an imperial fisting, no, disavow, you guys are so fucked up. Let's see, Slayer says, yeah, 24 weeks is like 6 months. Yeah, it is. That is pretty much 16 weeks from the 40-week mark, pretty much the time of birth. And women give birth to babies at the 35.
Viable.
Huh? Yes, it is a human form
babies,
that you were murdering. Yes.
The baby's viable at that point.
Yes. Greenleaf.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, yo, look. If your kid, if they find out something bad happens and your kid's gonna be born with half a brain, You know what I mean? That's not an issue, all right? That's a whole different ballgame. But those account for like 0.05% of all abortions performed, all right?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It is not enough. Like, that we could write legislation about. Like, that we can go, man, look, medically fucking, like, if your kid, like, because you have to have that right, you know what I'm saying, as a person. Like, because females are people. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I know they don't act like it, they are human beings. They are full-grown people, and we shouldn't be, like, forcing them to do anything they shouldn't want to do, though I do believe we should be drowning witches. But, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, like, these individuals here, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to have a kid that's going to be, like, really, really fucked up and hard to take care of, whatever the case might be, like, we should have that conversation about that thing. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really, there's a type of ass-faced feminist that is being taught that abortion is a badge of courage or rite of passage. Oh yeah, no, I've seen that passed around. When there was a scare of Roe versus Wade being overturned, when Kavanaugh was being put in and put through that freaking circus, you had somebody on a talk show saying, get abortion now. And actually, something too. A little fun fact, I actually learned this a few days ago. The daughter of Roe versus Wade, the daughter of Roe, never had an abortion. So, yeah, interesting. Let's see. Shame, a way of controlling people. Flying Falcon, and on the battlefield, you need people who are mentally very stable. Yes, you need people who are in that mindset. Can be no mistakes, no f-ups. It is do or die. Your brother, your life is on the line. Your brother's life, because like I've heard the saying that soldiers are closer than brothers because they have to fight. They have to get each other's back. So there cannot be any mentally unstable people. And I'm not saying transsexuals are mentally unstable. That is a whole nother topic, but as Trina May has discussed, as we've discussed here on this channel, hormones. You're on hormones for life after you fully transition, and if you don't have hormones, you will have a plethora of problems. That is a known fact. Feminism push, part of the attempt to topple Western civilization. Watch ex-KGB agent Yuri Bezmenov's warning to America, and Yuri
Benzinov.
Psychological warfare, subversion.
Benzinov.
Okay. I didn't know how to pronounce that. Control of Western society. Movie Bob and his fans are still going after the students regardless of the lawsuit. No, I know. And he might end up on that lawsuit as well. He's retarded. TomPnoid, there's an incel echo chamber. Go ahead.
Yeah. Did you ever hear that phrase? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna beg for fucking socialism little by little. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden you're going to wake up and you'll be inside of a fucking socialist fucking country. You know what I mean? By like a Russian fucking diplomat. That's what he's talking about. You know what I mean? It's that guy.
TomPnoid, there's an incel echo chamber where they talk about women the same way you do. And the non-physician abortions, no birth certificate. Let's see. So baby could be birthed live and traded on child trafficking market. Ooh, wow, that's kind of horrifying to think about. Greenleaf birthed a Greenleaf. Holy crap, TomPnoid. I'm so sorry that some females screwed with you so hard. Hugs and comfort. You're being given love. Greenleaf gives you a huggy emoji.
I'm good, nigga. Like, no. Yeah, that's always the first place they go to when you hear a motherfucker going, I think dudes should have the responsibility of government. And then they go, no, man, some female hurt you. No, dumbass. It makes more sense. Like, females pay no tax at all, lifetime. They pay no taxes because they always take out more than they take in because of their fucking life expectancy. You know what I mean? And the fact that, like, a lot of them fucking end up, you know what I mean, leaving the workforce or having lower paying jobs because, you know what I mean, they're not able to, like, actually generate a fucking income that are really actual, like, a real actual income. You know what I mean? Like, they don't pay they're not fucking net taxpayers. They make terrible goddamn decisions. You know what I mean? Like, they've been the fucking voting public. They're like 60% of all fucking votes in America are fucking female. Like, a lot of people don't know that. And it's been that way since the 1970s. And in case you ain't noticed, America has been on the downcline since the 1970s. Like, females only vote for, like, the best-looking individual for fucking president rather than voting for the individual with the best policies. That's why a guy like Bernie or Ron Paul or anybody with really good ideas will never be fucking elected and this shit will never get fixed.
Did you say
as long
Bernie?
As women have the right to fucking vote. Yeah, I mean, like, if that's your dude. If that's your dude.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
he's
That's not my
senile
dude.
and cuckoo.
I don't know. I think he don't know how to do math. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, his math is fucking horrible. I was a Ron Paul guy. You know what I mean? I'm a libertarian type individual. I believe you should take care of yourself, and people should be built to be strong individuals. You know, I think that, you know, you should motherfucking be pushing individuals to be the best people that they can be, and having the opportunity to get them off of the grid and off of welfare, off of social programs long term, so you don't have that bill every month that you have to make. You know what I mean? Like, instead of standing here giving out free shit, maybe you should put like solar panels on top of people's houses, or, stand here and like pay off a fucking mortgage for somebody who, ended up getting destroyed by some fucking economic thing that the government decided to pass. Like, if you're going to pass legislation that says we're not going to use coal anymore, guess what? Maybe you should take care of the coal communities. You know, maybe you should fucking go, hey, look, y'all are all fucked up and shit here. Let me stand here and give you the opportunity to take care of yourselves. Here's some plots of land that you can, grow some fucking food on and shit and take care of yourself, so that you don't have to be a giant burden on the goddamn community anymore. It's things that you can do to help people, but we don't fucking do it because we feel as though it's better for you to be in the system and continuing to motherfucking be a burden upon a taxpayer the rest of your life. There's better ways and better things that make more sense in a libertarian-minded standpoint, where the government should be trying to work itself out of a job. But they never think of it that way. You'll never have that thought pattern. Like education. Education should have long time ago been thought of, hey, maybe we should get away from this model of education that isn't working. Every year we have to build a fucking new $36 million fucking school for these goddamn kids. The kids aren't getting educated. We're slipping down further and further in the world rankings. Like, all right, maybe we should have a conversation about the fucking family unit and go, maybe mom should be at home to teach the goddamn kids. They can be educated on laptops through the fucking internet, because we have the technology and ability to do it, rather than put them inside of this fucking terrible place where they're going to have to like have fucking drugs pushed upon them, because the school teachers have to end up being teachers, social workers, fucking parents, and everything else, and disciplinarians, and fucking the first line of defense against fucking school shootings. That's too much weight. Like, at this point, teachers, like, they're sending kids to school in first grade who are still wearing diapers. Teachers have too much responsibility. It's because of single motherhood and the fact that women have the right to do whatever the fuck they want that suits their goddamn emotion. Somebody needs to talk about that. Tom Pease is going to talk about that.
This very much sounds like a discussion for another show. Later on in the week, perhaps, since we're a little bit over time.
Man. I got off tonight. Oh, all right, man. Yo, look. Oh, y'all come check out TomPnoid News, man. I cover a lot of deep-ass, in-depth shit.
I'll put your channel in if you want to give me a link to your channel there, TomPnoid, I'll put it in the description as well as a pinned comment when this video later processes. But yeah, no, we can definitely save that for another time. We are past the 2-hour mark. So I do want to thank you for coming on. But yeah, no, I will say that there's a lot that needs to be talked about. Women have been allowed to overstep their bounds. And I say that as a woman. I'm anti-feminist. I'm anti-SJW. My husband is pretty much the bread maker. I'm a housewife at the moment. Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that has become kind of bent all out of shape because women have been allowed to step all over the place and in places where they shouldn't. Nothing to my female viewers, but if you look at stuff, it is what it is. Let's look at reality. But with that, I'm going to close out. So y'all have a nice night, and we will see you guys in the next one.